We are back. Let's give it some claps. Give it some claps. Give it some claps. Episode 3. Wow, episode 3. What is today? Yes, this is episode 3. Okay, yes. I'm tired, y'all. So, first up on our list, I was actually trying to wait for police to get back to me for another piece of this story, but they have not yet. But I would be remiss not to talk about this here because I was one of the first people to just let the world know that the Atlanta police have actually arrested a woman in connection with the death of young Scooter, who is the rap artist from Atlanta. So I would say about 20, 30 minutes ago now, the Atlanta police dropped this statement via their Instagram. In their website, they said on April 1st, 2025, 31-year-old Demetrius Spence was taken into custody by the Atlanta Police Department and charged with transmitting a false public alarm there's like a little section code of like whatever this, law is. And then there's a definition of it. It says that this means if serious bodily harm or death results from the response of a public safety agency. So basically, this woman called police, gave them, hey, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Because of that, police responded to the location. Because of police responding, young Scooter then on foot fled police, and that resulted in his artery being hit and all the things, and him passing away. So that 31-year-old woman, Demetrius Spence, was wanted at the time that they found out about the fake phone call for her involvement in making a false 911 call regarding a person injured/deceased incident that occurred at 273, didn't give the address of where it happened in Atlanta, on March 28th. Now Miss Spence, so that is a 30-year-old woman, has been transported to the Fulton County Jail for processing. Y'all, this is insane. Now, there are some other dots here that I don't want to prematurely connect, so I'm not going to again until I can speak to, my law enforcement sources and be able to confirm some things. But this is insane. This is insane because basically, based on the statement that the police just gave, if this woman had never called and gave that, false testimony to police, young Scooter would still be alive today. That's trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is completely insane. It would be different if what she had called and said, was actually happening and, something happened in transmission of all of that where, he ended up passing away. But this is different because according to police, what she called and alleged that he didn't happen. So they didn't even have to be there. He didn't have to flee from police because it didn't happen. But again, there will be more to this. This is going to be developing. I'm so tired, y'all. Oh my God, I've been pushing through. I had 2 hours of sleep this morning, still made it to the Breakfast Club, barely slept today, and we are here doing the podcast. So y'all got to bear with me if the energy feels low, okay? I'm going to add some sound effects whenever I feel like I need to wake myself up. And that's why I'm dressed like this too. I'm in socks, sweatpants, a hoodie, this is my makeup from the party still, or what's left of it. Can't wait to wash my face and get in the shower and go to sleep. But anyway, I also with this wanted to touch on something that happened earlier today because there were some things that were put out online, including a tweet from Young Thug. And the tweet read, and this was in regard to young Scooter's passing and how he passed. Because, again, there's been so much conversation around what was true, what was not, because people thought it was just suspicious that he passed away from basically bleeding out. People did not believe that. So Young Thug actually tweeted earlier today, and the tweet has now been deleted. But Young Thug tweeted earlier today, autopsy came back, Street got shot. Street is Young Scooter. So Young Thug was under the impression that there was an autopsy that came back and that young Scooter had actually been shot. And that what police alleged, which wasn't that he got shot, which was that because of an injury to his leg that, somehow hit an artery or something like that, he had passed away. Now, police quickly came out and cleared that up, baby. One thing about the Atlanta police, they've been clearing things up from rip, okay? Letting you know what's going on. So they actually came out and they released young Scooter's autopsy results. The autopsy results actually listed his death as an accident, and it pushed, it basically put to rest that narrative that Young Thug was pushing, which I will say a lot of people picked up because it's like, okay, it's Young Thug. Like, all right, he might know something we don't know. But what they list on the autopsy, I have it here in my hand. His date of injury was March 28th. His date of death was March 28th. He was 39 years old. This autopsy was done on Saturday, March 29th, so the next day. His cause of death is listed as penetrating injury of the right thigh. Manner of death, again, an accident. Now, the comment that they left here, because I think they wanted to clarify, right? It says, Mr. Bailey, who was Young Scooter, sustained a penetrating injury on his right thigh that created marked blood loss. This injury was not a gunshot wound. Mr. Bailey injured himself on an organic wooden fencing material and or woody debris after vaulting at least one fence. So they say, hey, listen, at me or dat me, at us, let us know what's up because we're gonna respond, okay? And they did. That note part, the comment part, was definitely in response to Young Thug's tweet because again, they got picked up, it was everywhere. So they put that to rest. So yes, things will be developing, and as they develop, I will be right here to give you guys all of it. There's something that I'm working on right now. I have reached out to Atlanta police trying to confirm, but I have not heard back. So again, I don't want to do anything prematurely, but I will be checking as we record these next two stories. Now, up next on the list, where my little list at? Okay, up next on the list, there's a new Diddy lawsuit. And honestly, I'm not even going to hold y'all. I'm getting a little tired of the lawsuits now at this point, which is so unfortunate because there's so many women out there who actually, and men as well too, who've actually encountered sexual assault and, sex trafficking and all these things that are being alleged in these lawsuits. And majority of these lawsuits have not made it to court yet, so I can't determine what is true, what is not. But some of the stuff is so outrageous, and in some of the cases and things are starting to be dropped. There's a lot of different civil things that are not moving forward anymore because of some of how outrageous the claims are. You saw that first with the woman accuser who was 13 years old in 2000 that alleged that Jay-Z and Diddy raped her at some point, and that got dropped. And of course, I've always said that was going to look really good or, help Diddy in some extent on the civil side of his cases because it's going to show that people are willing to just make stuff up at this point. Which again is so unfortunate because there's really people out here going through this stuff. And then when they go through it and they allege things or, they try and get compensation or whatever they need to do to get themselves back whole, people are looking at them like, believe all women wear. Believe all men wear. Believe all men wasn't even a slogan. It's always been believe all women. But yeah, I think that it's horrible. It's trash what's happening. So let's get on into the lawsuit. So in this lawsuit, there's a guy. His name is Manzaro Joseph. Now, Manzaro Joseph claims that he was humiliated at a April 2015 birthday party for King Combs. King Combs is Diddy's son, Christian. By strapping, hold on. Oh, y'all, this season was so crazy, I couldn't even get it through. So he's claiming that Diddy strapped a penis to his face and paraded him around. What in the hell is happening? And he says that all of this happened with some pretty famous people watching. Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James, and Gloria Estefan saw him in a very rare form, is what he's alleging. Now, in the lawsuit, and this was an exclusive that was broke by TMZ, Manzaro, who is the alleged victim here, claims that he was drugged and transported to Star Island in Miami for the big party back in April. He says at first he was dragged into the back entrance of Emilio and Gloria Estefan's mansion. Then he saw a panicked Gloria, like she's in a frenzy. Then after that, he says that Emilio quickly got Gloria together because she was panicked. She was going all over the place and got her out of there, took her back out to the crowd. And then that's when this man who filed the lawsuit is claiming that he saw LeBron walking through a hallway in a bath towel. And he says that LeBron looked at him and said, y'all better do something about that. I guess talking about the penis on his head. This sounds like a Boondocks episode. This is kind of crazy. And then in the docs, he also claims that ex-porn star Ardria English then took him to a secret tunnel in Diddy's mansion. He regained partial consciousness in a large party area where he noticed Jay-Z and Beyonce. He also claims that when Beyonce saw him, she asked, what's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a cock mask standing here in front of me? He says, first of all, I don't believe Beyonce in all of her glory would ever say the word cock mask out of her mouth. You will not convince me on Beyonce's internet, on Beyonce's podcast platform, on Beyonce's camera, or her microphone that my sis would say that. Okay? But again, this is not played out in a court of law, so I cannot judge. So then he says, one of Diddy's goons told Beyonce, Diddy wants him to see what we do to snitches. So Diddy's goon was explaining to B why this man is walking around with a cock mask on. And they said that this was all a part of his punishment. Now, the accuser is claiming that he was forcibly paraded through multiple rooms filled with tons and tons of people as people basically taunted him, cheered, did all the things. And he says Diddy ordered him to be degraded, calling out, he's going to find out what we do when people are snitches tonight. Get him undressed. So then he says that he was stripped of all of his clothes, and he was made to put on a small thong bikini bottom and a black leather mask with a rubber dam forcibly inserted and zip closed over his head. This is really whoever this person is that wrote this lawsuit, low key, I think there's a writer room at Tyler Perry Studios that could use you because this is crazy. He says a locking sex device was affixed to the mask, protruding from his mouth, with Diddy and Ardria allegedly subjecting him to degrading and non-consensual acts. He says later in the night, he came across a celebrity jeweler, Jacob Arubo, who he says was visibly disturbed by his attire. And he claims Jacob asked, what's this? What's going on with this guy? Why are you standing here staring at me with a penis strapped to his face? So basically, everybody he was running into was like, yo, what's up with the pee-pee and the wee-wee on the face? Then he says that Emilio again intervened and told him that, this is how Diddy's goons has people out here running around when they think that they need to be silenced. Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron, and Gloria and Jacob the jeweler are not included in the lawsuit as far as they're not actually being sued, but their names are just mentioned when the alleged victim is telling his story of what happened. Now, it is true that Diddy did throw a 17th birthday party for his son back in April 2015. And he is basically saying, this guy is saying that birthday party was a cover-up because this was a freak-off. He says that the alleged event does not match what prosecutors had, or not he says, but according to reports, the event that this man is alleging doesn't match what the prosecutors have as a part of the federal indictment. They allege that the freak-offs involved Diddy, a male sex worker, and another woman. So if you guys remember when everything first came down and they gave their description of what the freak-offs would be, and in this description of what the prosecutors are saying or the feds are saying that the freak-offs would be, they're also saying that this was corroborated by multiple witnesses, and it was the same thing everywhere you went. There was different lights, there was the baby oils, there was the male sex worker, people were giving drinks. So this is completely different. Completely different. Now, I will say, TMZ did a little thing here because at the bottom of their story, they did a little Google search because they wanted to see if the dates added up because there were specific dates in here. And what they found was that Jay-Z was actually in New York on April 1st, 2015. And that's supposed to be the date of the birthday party. And they know that he was there because there was a speaking engagement that he actually did for Tidal then. Yo, the way that social media and timestamps have been coming through for Jay-Z, and he don't even be on social media, crazy. But this guy is going after Diddy, Emilio, Ardria, and Diddy's alleged drug mule, Brandon Paul. That's the guy that was locked up in Miami, and they found the drugs in his bag when all the raids and stuff first happened with Diddy, and a few others. He's suing them for human trafficking, and he's seeking damages. So he wants to be compensated for what he's saying he's going through. Now, Diddy's legal team, this is their statement. They say this complaint demonstrates the deprived lengths plaintiffs will travel to garner headlines in pursuit of a payday. No sane person reading this complaint could credit this story. Mr. Combs looks forward to having his day in court. Maybe they must have that. Mr. Combs looks forward to having his day in court copied and pasted in their phone and in their notepad so much so that all they got to do is like boom, boom, bam, and send, because there's been so many allegations. Jay-Z's team also came out and spoke in response to this and said, it was his attorney, Alex Spiro, said that Mr. Carter wasn't in Florida at the time to witness the incident. He was engaged easily in a very findable public activity that proves he was not even there. This is more nonsense that erodes our justice system, which is what I was talking about in the beginning. Now, the reason why this is crazy to me is like, I think, number one, even in me talking about it, y'all, I was going to say comment, like I'm live or like I'm on, like, yo, chat, like I'm on a stream or something, but let me know how y'all feel on Twitter, on Instagram as you're listening to this and you tag me. But I feel like at this point we are so exhausted by these Diddy civil lawsuits and all of the things and the sensationalized information that are put in these lawsuits to make them go, to make them pick up, to make them spread, that now people don't even care as much. It's like, and again, there may be people who were actually victimized in these ways by Diddy. There may be, that is alleged. We don't know until it plays out in court on both the criminal and the civil side, whatever makes it to court, right? But it's just kind of crazy because I feel like it's like, it literally feels like it like came and went. Like at one point in time, I know for me as on a journalist side, like, as I'm choosing stories to do on the Breakfast Club or choosing stories to like, actively get new angles and report on and things of that nature, I'm always like, looking for like, okay, what's new, what's happening. But the Diddy stuff to me now, I'm just like, oh, another one? Bro, another one? Can we just skip to the part where he go to court so we can see what's true or what's not? Because I'm tired. I'm physically tired because I went to that party last night, but I am tired of all of these random chat GPT. Remember the hood books you used to read back in the day when you was younger? Patrick, did you read hood books? No. You didn't? Like the love stories, like the hood love stories? And most of them only came in paperback because that's all the authors could afford? Dang, you grew up nice, huh? Huh? Put us on. Okay, so I don't remember all the names of them, but if you know, you know. Like the hood books, they had like, it was always about like the girl falling in love with the drug dealer and blah, blah, blah. That's how I feel like a lot of these civil suits are becoming. It's literally becoming like one of those like paperback hood novels that we used to lean into, and it had like multiple, like 4 or 5 different recurrences of like not chapter, but version 1, version 2, version 3. Like this is getting so redundant, y'all, and it's just sad because I think for the people who actually have experienced harm in any sort, whether it is physical or mental, stuff like this makes it where it's like it makes a joke for people who actually have been through things. And it's just sad to see and it's sad to watch. And I'm tired. The party was long. I got 2 hours of sleep last night. But I'm also just tired of all this stuff. Like of all the noise surrounding Diddy. I think the noise may help him. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I think the noise may help him. And the reason why I think the noise may help him is because I think for any juror that has been watching this, right? Because with Diddy right now, there's been such a conversation about the jury, like when like how people will be selected and when the case will actually, when the trial will actually start, because Diddy's team, wanted a certain amount of like discovery or evidence from the other side and just a ton of different things. But when you think about something like this, because Puff is Puff, Diddy is Diddy. I say Puff is Puff, Diddy is Diddy because I don't know what y'all know him as. But you can't get around the fact of who he is. So I don't think that there will be, I would be surprised if there is one juror that comes into this and knows nothing about what happened. And if I'm a juror and you're seeing all of this, like even though it's on the civil side, if you're seeing a lot of these, not all of them, but some of these cases get tossed by the wayside because of the ridiculousness of them, I think you start to wonder about other things. And I will say, though, what I always go back to is what is going to mess Diddy up is that Cassie video. And according to the feds and the prosecutors, they did everything they needed to do to secure what they needed to secure from CNN as far as the original video so that could be submitted as evidence. That is going to be so damaging for him because of how jarring it is to just see him sliding Cassie up and down a hallway and just beating her like she was like nothing. But on the other end, though, playing devil's advocate, his team does have, these situations where things are being dropped. Attorney Busby or whatever is not following certain rules the way he should be. I think there's somewhere in there, like technically they can, like a technical something that they could possibly try and lean into. Again, I'm not an attorney, y'all. I just really like watching these cases, predicting what's going to happen next, and I can just read and comprehend enough to be able to tell you all about it. But I am not an attorney whatsoever. So that is something else that we are going to be following and watching, not specifically the man with the penis on his head, but just new Diddy cases in general and court with him. Like, how does all of this big bubble of noise that we've been watching and, seeing on social media, like, how does all of this come into one to get a guilty or not guilty? I'm really interested to see how the attorneys on both sides are going to use this or not, lack thereof, to prove their points. Diddy's trial might be like, I don't know, y'all. We had the Super Bowl. We had Just Go Live on Instagram. The next big cultural moment might be Diddy's trial. It's going to be crazy, but we're going to be there. We're going to be tuned in. We're going to be locked, okay? I promise y'all the latest with Loren LoRosa will bring you guys the latest, period. I think I actually want to try and, I got to look into this because I know things have already started, but I think I want to try and get media passes to attend some of the court proceedings. They'll let journalists come and sit in, and sometimes I think that'll be something. I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to reach out and see if it's not too late for me to do that. Now, in my last story, this is the first episode where we got the 3 stories because I've been breaking things down. They're like putting things together so differently, but I wanted to press to try and do 3 stories a day, and I'm gonna make this one quick because I know it's going to be a heck of an edit for Taylor because I'm so tired and I'm talking so slow and I'm taking my time. But Taylor be on me. She like, girl, you repeating yourself too much. Make it tighter. Get it together. So I wrote out my thoughts today. I tried to write out an outline today. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm working on me over here, all right? I'm trying to be the best that I can be. Not trying to be. I'm going to be the best that I can be. So in my last story, I wanted to touch on I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, the Luigi Mangione. That's the boy who killed the United Healthcare CEO. So he could potentially be facing a death penalty. So the Attorney General's name is Pam Bondi, is directing prosecutors to seek the death penalty for Luigi. Now, this prosecutor is basically saying that if Luigi is convicted for the December murder of Brian Thompson, that was the United Healthcare CEO, it should be a wrap. And this was announced on Tuesday. So this was announced today. One of the federal charges against how do I say his name? Mangione, the United Healthcare killer. One of the federal charges against the United Healthcare killer, murder through the use of a firearm, makes him eligible for the death penalty if convicted. Now, in her statement, here is what the federal prosecutor said. The United Healthcare killer murdered Brian Thompson, an innocent man and a father of 2 young children, and it was premeditated in cold blood. Oh, they have no sympathy for him. In cold blood. They called it a cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. The statement then continues, after careful consideration, now this is Bondi, this is the federal prosecutor saying this, this is the Attorney General. Bondi is the Attorney General. And she's saying that after careful consideration, she has directed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty in this case as we carry out President Trump's agenda to stop violent crime and make America safe again. Now, let me tell y'all something. I know that, the United Healthcare murderer has been propped up in position as this hero who was fighting for, the middle class and the lower income and all of that, people who don't have good health care, whatever. Baby, this attorney general don't care about none of that. Don't care, none of it. None of it. Just that first piece of the statement alone is giving, oh, you like to talk about mothers. Okay? Okay. You, and I think too, there was no remorse from him. Like, even when he wrote the letters that he did, and there was like the website and all that stuff, there was no remorse. Everything that has been circulating from the United Healthcare murderer has been very much like, this was a protest. I did this because I had to. And the people, y'all been eating it up. Okay? Y'all have been, when I say he did that, y'all have been eating that up. Like, I saw people, there was like t-shirts that dropped. People were sending him money for lawyer fees. Bro made bank for lawyer fees. Some of y'all not even sending y'all homies commissary, and y'all are funding the United Healthcare murderer to get a lawyer. The people really have gotten behind him though. Like, they actually are championing him, which is insane because, again, that CEO had a family, kids, he's somebody's son. Nobody should die because someone else wants to prove a point. That should not happen. But baby, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. This attorney general, if ain't nobody else going to hold old boy to the flame, this attorney general is doing it. So we will have to, continue to stay in lockstep with this story as well too, to see what happens. But I promise y'all, if he does get the death penalty, I don't think he's afraid of that. I think that he's going to go out in a way, like, I don't know, whether it's release something, the final words that will be reported that he had, like, whatever the case may be, he's going to go out like he thinks he's Tupac. Because he been standing on it hard, okay? In hard bottom shoes, white t-shirt, like, what's up, squabble up, West Coast vibes. Like, he's been standing on the business he thought he handled hard. So we'll let you guys know where that ends up. Comment somewhere. When I post this on Instagram, you guys hear the audio, comment. Tweet at me, Loren LoRosa. Instagram, I'm Loren LoRosa. I'm Brown Girl Grinding. TikTok, I'm Loren LoRosa Iconic. Come and talk to me. I really want to hear you. No, I really want you to come and talk to me because I want to know how you feel about the topics today. I've been seeing y'all feedback, and I got to figure out a name for y'all too. Like, what's the name for the audience? You know what I mean? Like, twin, where have you been? Like, what is y'all name? We got to figure that out because we're learning and we're growing together. I heard you guys. Somebody said, sis, I love this. But even if we can't get more time from you right now, can we at least get more topics in the time? So I did my 3 topics today. Tomorrow I'm going to challenge myself to try and get 4 in there. It can't be no longer than 4 because there's already going to be a lot to edit. But thank you guys. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're telling a friend to tell a friend that this is your #1 go-to spot for daily news breakdowns, okay? We're breaking it down. My name is Loren LoRosa. I'm the homegirl that knows a little bit about everything and everybody. And at the end of the day, I always say this. There is so much to talk about. And y'all could be anywhere with anybody talking about it, and you chose to be right here with me, so you know I appreciate you. I ain't got nothing but love for you. I will see you guys in my next episode.